Hey everyone, Mac and TJ back at you for another segment of Michigan Conservative Roundtable. And in this one, we're going to talk about our latest victim of social injustice. We have a biracial NASCAR driver by the name of Bubba Wallace Jr. He was born 1993. He's a fairly accomplished professional race car driver. He competes full-time in the NASCAR Cup Series, driving the number 43 Chevrolet Camaro for the Richard Petty Motorsports team. Born in Mobile, Alabama, the son of Darrell Wallace Sr. and his mother Desiree Wallace, Darrell being white, Desiree being black, and he is no relation to Rusty Wallace. He got known in 2014. He did really well in what they call the Truck Series. In NASCAR, you have some minor leagues of sorts, and Truck Series is one of them. And that's where he seemed to do really well in the Truck Series back in 2014. In 2018, he came in second in the Daytona 500. I got to tell you, that's pretty impressive. Daytona 500, that's no slouch of a race. And then last year, he came in third at the Brickyard 400, which is at Indianapolis. And again, that's no slouch of a race. So he's fairly accomplished. He is currently ranked 20th on the NASCAR circuit. He's gotten popular here, though, the last, say, month or so. He's done a couple things. He's put Black Lives Matter on his car, and his car is now black with the logo hashtag Black Lives Matter. And he likes wearing a shirt that says, "I can't breathe," with Black Lives Matter underneath it, I think, or vice versa. I forget which. He was one of the guys that was able to successfully campaign to get NASCAR forbidden Confederate flags at the different racetracks. If you recall, if you paid attention to the news, there was actually a plane that flew overhead flying the Confederate flag, and some of the spectators, they weren't allowed to bring them into the racetrack, so what they did was they drove around outside of the facility waving the flag in defiance. He's also made the headlines just recently. An alleged noose was found in his garage at Talladega. Little trivia on Talladega Super Speedway. It is the fastest track on the NASCAR circuit, a 2.66 tri-oval with banking up to 33 degrees. Prior to the cars being made to put on, here's another thing. Political correctness came to play, and they made them put restrictor plates on their cars to keep their speeds down. Because prior to the restrictor plates, they were exceeding 220. Now, even with the restrictor plates, they're still getting a little over 200 on this race course. But anyways, in Bubba Wallace's garage, a noose was found. Two questions. Was it really a noose? And was it really found in his garage? He, along with many others, were certain that he was the victim of a hate crime, given his position on racial issues leading up to the race at Talladega. Remember, as I mentioned, that he was played a part in the Confederate flag issue, and the Black Lives Matter on his car issue. So he thinks he was positioning himself that it was in response or retaliation to his social positions. But here's the thing. We haven't even gotten to the best part of this story yet. Given CCTVs, the FBI, because they called in the FBI pretty quickly determined that this was not a crime, hate crime, and that the alleged noose was actually a pull cord on his garage door, and it had been there for well over a year. Thoughts so far, Matt? Because I'll keep rambling.
Well, I have to wonder, does anyone believe that Bubba Wallace believed that noose, if you want to call it that, and it did look like a little tiny noose, but a noose, as you know, if you pull on it, will close on you. That's what breaks your neck or chokes you to death is that it tightens. That wasn't the case with this thing. But does anybody believe he was really terrified or frightened and fears being lynched? I don't think anybody believes that. I certainly think he doesn't. I think it puts his name out there. I think it brings him, in this case, negative attention. But what they say, all publicity is good publicity. And it would have to be someone within NASCAR who did it, because you can't just walk into those garages. So it's not his fans who I'm going to guess. I'm not a NASCAR fan, but I know you were at one time. The vast majority of those people that I see at the races are white. So how's he gained popularity in this racist country? I would think they would be against him.
Well,
stands to reason, right?
Yeah. Where I felt this story took a really odd twist was he made the circuits on CNN and MSNBC, and in what I thought was a tantrum, demanding that he was victimized. And I had some thoughts and some theories. Originally, when I first heard about this, of course, when you first hear about this, you go, oh no. But then you thought, wait a minute, this was a restricted area. There's no one that's just going to walk there and put it there. Plus, because the car and all the associated equipment that goes with the car, we're talking millions of dollars on any race team, your average race team there. They got CCTVs and everything. So right away, assuming that it really did happen, which we found out that it didn't, but if it were to have really happened, I thought it was an inside job from one of his own teammates. Or one of his, say, pit crew guys or something, because or no one is...
a sick joke.
Yeah, sick joke. No one was just going to be able to go there, put it there, and not get caught. And that's what didn't make sense to me right from the start.
And they're all aware of the security systems that are in place, so they would know they were being recorded.
Yeah, and also I wanted to show a picture of from 2019. That same garage had that same alleged noose pull cord on the garage door. And you know what it is? And from what I understand, they made it so that it had like an opening where you could just easily reach up, grab it, and without your hand slipping off, just be able to pull the door down. Was the intent of the design of the pull cord, we'll say.
Well, here's the place I take issue with Bubba Wallace. As he wants to drive around with Black Lives Matter on his car, I have to wonder, does he not realize that this is a black supremacist Marxist group?
Well, that's not...
does he not understand that? Why isn't he donating all his earnings to the common good? If he really wants Marxism, he's going to drive for free? In fact, he won't drive at all because they'll ban that.
Well, me always looking for a conspiracy here. I had to wonder, once I found out that pull cord had been like that for well over a year, then I got to think, wait a minute. NASCAR officials had to know these cords existed. They had to, okay? And it was all coincidence, poor coincidence, that Bubba Wallace got assigned to the garage that had the pull cord tied like that. But I believe NASCAR knew that cord already existed and that there was really no hate crime committed. But they were afraid to speak the truth, we'll say, yeah. Because they were afraid that if they were to speak the truth, then NASCAR would be accused of sweeping it all under the rug and not...
more white supremacy.
Yeah, more of that nonsense. I think that's why they brought in the FBI. Because
yeah, I think so too.
I think they brought in the FBI because NASCAR didn't want to be accused of sweeping it under the rug. And they knew all along. I'm telling you, they knew all along that cord was there. And the word is, these same cords exist at multiple racetracks for a few years now. So this isn't just Talladega. What are they going to do? Go around and retie all the cords at all these other facilities?
Why is he?
I suspect that's going to happen.
Is Bubba Wallace so fragile? Because, that's a grueling athletic thing to sit in a car for sometimes 4 or 5 hours driving at that speed. So you have to be in pretty good shape. But is he so fragile mentally that if he sees a noose, because of all the lynchings, which I don't know when the last time anyone was lynched in this country. I imagine it's been some time ago. So much so that Kamala Harris and Cory Booker need to do anti-lynching legislation, which I thought murdering people was already illegal. But, you know, I guess that they're special if you get lynched.
Well, in any event, he doesn't like being compared to Jussie Smollett because, you know, I guess Bubba even knows that Jussie Smollett made that one up.
Yeah,
if he doesn't like being compared to Jussie Smollett.
Yeah, wouldn't it be the, you know, some people even said, well, it doesn't matter if it happens because it's still, well, Juan Williams, I think you said it.
Still brings attention to the issue.
It's okay
important
to file a false police report, which in many places is a felony. It's okay to do that because we need to bring attention to the issue. Well, you know, you're a celebrity, Juan. You're a celebrity, Jussie. You're a celebrity, Bubba. Why don't you just bring it to someone's attention? Why do you have to fake a crime?
And one of my final thoughts, I don't know if Bubba, if he's so sensitive to perception and image and whatnot, why does he even go by the nickname Bubba? You know, I looked that up, and in the Urban Dictionary, there are some less than flattering definitions to the nickname Bubba. So, you know...
Can you give us some examples?
Well, it was a bully. In regards to prison, you know... you know what I mean?
Tell me. Because I don't know. Having not been in prison, and I don't use urban slang very often.
But anyways, if he's going to be so sensitive to perception of reality, he may want to consider his nickname. He gave himself that nickname too, by the way. So, you know, and here we got liberalism, progressivism, working its way into NASCAR now, and just like NFL, that's being wussified. Yeah. You know, I would tell you it started with the restrictor plates. That's a whole nother topic. But I think once they brought in the restrictor plates, you could see NASCAR incrementally being wussified.
Yeah.
So, you know, whatever.
Yeah.
Anything else?
No, I don't think so.
All right. Okay, that's it. Mac, TJ, signing off. And remember, be safe, watch your six, and don't tread on me.